Questo podcast fa parte di Voice Podcast Creators Company.
Spending extended periods in space is one of the most fascinating and challenging experiences humanity has ever undertaken. It pushes the boundaries of our understanding of the human body, mind, and the intricate balance of social dynamics. Let me take you on a journey through the challenges astronauts face today, aboard the International Space Station, and those that future explorers will encounter on missions to Mars or even beyond. Living in space begins with the sheer wonder of microgravity. Floating effortlessly may seem magical at first, but it comes at a significant cost. The human body, finely tuned for Earth's gravity, begins to experience changes almost immediately. One of the most critical issues is bone density loss. Without the constant pull of gravity, bones lose calcium and weaken over time, a condition akin to osteoporosis on Earth but accelerated. Astronauts can lose about 1% of their bone mass per month in space. Similarly, muscles atrophy because they no longer need to support the body. While rigorous exercise routines are part of every astronaut's daily schedule, these only slow the deterioration, not stop it entirely. Another invisible but insidious challenge is the impact of microgravity on bodily fluids. On Earth, gravity helps pull blood and other fluids downward, but in space, they redistribute and collect in the upper body. This fluid shift leads to puffy faces, increased pressure on the brain, and even affects vision, a condition known as spaceflight-associated neuroocular syndrome, SANS. Astronauts have reported blurry vision during missions, which sometimes persists even after they return to Earth. The full understanding of why this happens and how to mitigate it is still a topic of intense research. Radiation poses a unique and more threatening danger. Earth's magnetic field shields us from the constant bombardment of cosmic rays and solar radiation, but in space, especially beyond low Earth orbit, astronauts are exposed to much higher levels. Over time, this exposure can damage DNA, increasing the risk of cancer and other health issues. On Mars, for instance, where the atmosphere is thin and there's no magnetic field, radiation levels are significantly higher. Scientists are working on solutions like better shielding for spacecraft and habitats, or even pharmaceutical approaches to repair radiation-induced damage, but these are still in developmental stages. Then there's the psychological toll. Imagine being confined in a space no larger than a modest apartment, with no way to step outside for fresh air, and surrounded by the same people for months, sometimes years. Cabin fever is a real concern. While astronauts are carefully selected for their ability to handle stress and work in teams, prolonged isolation and confinement can lead to anxiety, depression, and interpersonal conflicts. Communication with Earth, though possible, introduces another layer of difficulty, especially for future Mars missions where delays of up to 20 minutes each way make real-time conversations impossible. NASA and other space agencies are exploring ways to maintain morale, including virtual reality environments that simulate Earth-like settings, personalized schedules to ensure work-life balance, and even plant growth systems that allow astronauts to tend to living organisms, providing a psychological boost. One of the more curious social experiments aboard the ISS has been the integration of multinational crews. Astronauts from the United States, Russia, Japan, and Europe work together in harmony despite cultural differences, which offers valuable lessons for future missions. However, these dynamics are delicately balanced and could become more complex on a Mars mission where the stakes are higher and isolation from Earth is more profound. When we consider Mars, a whole new set of challenges arises. Beyond surviving the journey, which takes at least 6 to 9 months, astronauts must learn to live on an alien planet. Mars's gravity, about 1/3 of Earth's, might seem like a reprieve from the harshness of microgravity, but it introduces its own unknowns. How will prolonged exposure to this partial gravity affect bones, muscles, and the cardiovascular system? No one knows for sure. Mars also presents logistical challenges. Any habitat must be entirely self-sufficient, with systems to generate oxygen, recycle water, and grow food. Hydroponics and other advanced farming techniques are being tested, but growing crops on a barren, dusty planet with limited sunlight is no small feat. NASA's Perseverance rover and the European Space Agency's ExoMars mission are scouting the red planet for resources like ice that could be converted to water, but these solutions are still in their infancy. There's also the psychological shift that comes with being on another planet. Unlike the ISS, where Earth is always visible as a comforting blue orb, Mars explorers will see only a faint, distant star. This detachment could amplify feelings of homesickness and existential anxiety. Research into mental health support, including the use of AI companions and immersive virtual environments, aims to address these issues. Social dynamics will also evolve in unexpected ways. In such a high-stress environment, group cohesion is paramount. Astronauts will need to rely on each other in ways that go beyond current ISS missions. Every decision could mean life or death, and trust within the team will be as critical as technological reliability. Training for these scenarios involves rigorous simulations on Earth, but the real test will come when crews are millions of kilometers from home. Let's not forget the unique problem of planetary protection. Scientists must ensure that human missions to Mars do not contaminate the planet with Earth microbes, which could jeopardize the search for native Martian life. At the same time, measures must be taken to prevent potential Martian microorganisms from harming Earth upon the crew's return. Despite all these challenges, space agencies and private companies remain undeterred. The work being done today, whether in developing better spacecraft, creating sustainable life support systems, or understanding human physiology in extreme conditions, paves the way for a future where humanity becomes a multiplanetary species. The resilience and ingenuity of astronauts, coupled with groundbreaking science, ensure that these obstacles, daunting as they are, will be met with solutions. Consider the story of astronaut Scott Kelly, who spent nearly a year aboard the ISS as part of NASA's twin study. His mission provided invaluable insights into how long-duration spaceflight affects the human body, especially when compared to his twin brother, Mark, who remained on Earth. Kelly's experiences, from dealing with swollen legs due to fluid shifts to feeling the intense physical strain of gravity upon return, highlight the challenges we face and the determination required to overcome them. As we look to the future, the dream of exploring Mars and beyond is no longer just a fantasy. It's a challenge we are actively preparing for, with every test flight, every simulation, and every experiment bringing us one step closer. The ultimate journey to the stars will be one of humanity's greatest achievements, but it will demand everything we've got, physically, mentally, and socially. And perhaps as we overcome these challenges, we'll learn more about ourselves and our place in the cosmos than we ever imagined.
Non c'è Natale che si rispetti senza una bella scorta di film e serie.
Io e Alessia, host del podcast TV Therapy, lo sappiamo bene e anche quest'anno a consigliarti quelli giusti c'è il calendario dell'avvento di Disney+.
Cosa c'è nella casellina di oggi?
Non lo so cosa c'è nella casellina di oggi.
Una domanda per te. Se potessi entrare nei tuoi sogni, cosa faresti?
Allora, non saprei, di sicuro però vieterei l'accesso ai clown inquietanti.
E allora devi per forza vedere Dream Productions, la nuova serie tratta dal mondo di Inside Out che si immagina la fabbrica dei sogni come uno studio di produzione cinematografica, con una schiera di registi per ogni tipo di sogno, quelli divertenti, quelli d'azione, gli incubi o addirittura i sogni ad occhi aperti, ovviamente con qualche intoppo che puntualmente getta tutti nel panico generale.
Bel guaio, peraltro gli episodi escono proprio oggi.
Esatto, ed è perfetta se vuoi farti un viaggio nei meccanismi della mente umana, tra un'esplosione di colori, divertendoti anche un sacco.
Mettiti comodo sul divano, a Natale non può mancare Disney+.